Wakeboarding is a fairly new sport. Unlike traditional water skiing, it is more trick-oriented. Almost all wakeboard tricks start with the same basic component, the wake jump. This is the first trick that riders should learn, and it must be perfected if they are to move on to more advanced tricks. My name is Cody Mallon, and today we will be analyzing the steps that are required in performing a successful wake jump. The wake jump is comprised of 4 basic steps. The first step consists of the approach into the wake. The second step is going to consist of pushing or popping off the wake. The third step is your body position while you're actually in the air, and the fourth step is landing the trick. The first step in performing a wake jump involves your approach into the wake. You want to start off about 25 to 30 foot outside the wake in a knees bent position. You want to take a slow turn into the wake by applying slight pressure to your heels. You don't want to turn too sharp or you could get slack and fall. As you approach the wake, you want to progressively lean harder away from the boat. What this does is this increases the line tension, and this line tension is actually what catapults you across both wakes. This is called a progressive edge, and the idea is that you want your hardest edge and you want your most line tension at the top of the wake just prior to taking off. The biggest problem that riders encounter in this step is that they tend to flatten off at the wake, and this causes them to lose their line tension, and in result they end up in a short jump. The second step, and the one that requires the most practice, is pushing or popping off the wake. As the rider begins to ride up the face of the wake, they're going to want to start pushing against the wake and extend their legs in a tall, rigid position. This is known as popping. What happens is, as you push against the water, the water's pushing against you, and it pushes you into the air. So, the harder that you press against the wake, the harder it pushes against you and the more height you get. If you let your knees bend, then you're absorbing this energy and you're not going to get the proper lift. Timing is probably the most crucial element of this step. You want to push off the wake when the crest is between both of your feet. If you push off too early or if you push off too late, you're not going to get the right amount of pop and won't get the right height or distance. The third step is going to be your body position while you're actually in the air. Once you leave the wake and you're in the air, you're going to want to keep your shoulders and your chest up. You want to keep from leaning too far forward or too far back, as you could lose your balance. The rope and handle position is also a key component here. You want to keep it low and you want to keep it tight to your body at your lead hip. What this does is it keeps the pull of the rope at your center of gravity, which is where you have your most balance. If you put the rope too high, you'll lose balance and you'll fall out the back. A key tip to this step right here is actually focusing on the horizon. If you focus on the horizon, then you maintain the right body position, and it helps you keep your momentum moving in the right direction. The final step in a wake jump is going to be actually landing the trick. As you get to the end of your jump and you start coming down, you're going to want to look at the water and see exactly where you're going to land. The ideal place to land is on the downside of the opposite wake. This is going to provide the softest landing and smoothest transition. Landing too short or too far is going to result in a harder impact. As your wakeboard begins to touch down on the water, the rider wants to go ahead and absorb the impact with his knees. Your knees have to act as shock absorbers and keep you from excessive jarring. This excessive jarring can either make you go off balance and fall, or you could actually hurt yourself by jarring your back or your knees, which is bad. Once you actually land the trick, you're going to want to continue your edge and you're going to keep moving away from the wake. You don't want to suddenly stop, as your momentum is going one way, and if you stop, then you'll just tumble over. Next, we'll go ahead and watch a video of a rider that does perform a proper wake jump, and you should see and hear that he's going to perform these 4 steps that we've been talking about. He starts off wide, then he's going to take a slow turn into the wake. He's taking a progressive edge right now, building his edge harder in the line tension as he gets closer to the wake. Once he gets to the top of the wake, he extends his legs, keeps his chest and his body position right. He absorbs the impact with his knees and continues out the other side. In conclusion, a successful wake jump involves these 4 key components. Your first step is going to be taking a progressive edge in the wake. Second, you're going to want to pop off the wake at the appropriate time. Third, you're going to want to maintain your body position while you're in the air. And then finally, you're going to want to absorb the landing and ride away. Properly executing these 4 steps will ensure a successful weight jump. You're going to want to master this trick in order to have a good base foundation in your wakeboarding. If you keep practicing this, then finally you'll be able to incorporate tricks such as spins and flips into your repertoire. Thanks for watching.